So I was just talking about all the ads that pop up on my computer to use them. The Movavi screensaver comes with a complimentary ad. If I want to buy my Movavi screensaver again, I get to see that fucking ad every time I use Movavi screensaver. And if I don't click on the ad, first of all, wait for it, and then click on it to make it go away and start my broadcast, it will fuck up my broadcast. It will fuck up the software I already bought from Movavi. It clearly says Movavi Screensaver, Screen Capture Studio. I know where to get more Movavi Screen Capture Studio if I want to. I'm just saying, the ads are gratuitous. SLYE, applied, SAP, applied, put your hyphens in there. Is it the misnomer would be the B hyphen ride? That this sort of producing a product of consciousness and then adding dong onto it as your righteousness, your ability, because you already brought value, so you can just add on to it, is a malfeasant lie. Down to, let me see. Ironically, I sent it was my dad's birthday, May 27th, and I called and I did not get a connection. I sent an email. Well, I sent an email on my Mac computer. I'm getting emails from Mac saying I need to buy into storage for backing up my emails, etc. I do not enlist any backup for my emails. I've got them on my Apple computer. I have spent my time to try and figure out how to not back up my emails on Apple for them to save them when I've got them clearly on my Apple computer. And what that yields is that I cannot use my Apple email on my computer if I deny it the ability to back up to the cloud, the Apple cloud. So that's fucked. It's basically drop kicking you to sign up to keep fortifying the presence of already missed, spent, and sent. And you will never get IT back in black, okay, in honest hues that your heart and head had fact tact with your feet, tooth, the advance, AD, advance, AD. So this is annoying again. So my dad did not get that message. It does not show the irony of the timing. I can't send a fucking Apple message to my dad. For me to get on my Apple phone, once something updated itself, the phone updated itself, and now it will not connect to my Apple computer. So now I have to, I can't, any pictures or video I take on my phone will not automatically connect to my Apple computer. I have to send them with my roaming. I have to use minutes to get them. And then when I send them to me on my email, then email gratuitously backs them up and wants me to pay for it. Otherwise, the options are pay a monthly fee for more gigabyte storage, which I don't need because I have an Apple computer, but they will not let you use your email handle via Apple on your computer unless you buy into their backup. And they're actually, in a very caustic way, they're making you sign up for IT. That doesn't give a half shit crap sit or site-y. City, site-y, shitty. This shit tone, honestly. So, where am I? I was going to start a little video, but the fucking ads kept coming up. I got an ad on my LG computer screen, that I can't make go away. And it takes about, it would seem, about 8 to 10 seconds of my time every time I wake the computer up. I've got an ad that's like fucking a bar right fucking in the middle of what I'm working on, and I'm like, I can't see around. I have to take things with my cursor and move them around so I can pretend to work in a functional way with my eyesight right in front of me. I can't make it go away. I didn't know if it was the Apple cursor that doesn't have that right and left. So I've got another cursor over there. That still doesn't make it go away either. The ad is a permanent featured doft. Re-add doft to get across. -T. Toft. Hyphenated. So anyway, I got diverted from my original pleasant message. The pleasant message is really just tracking what's going on in my apartment. Coleus, the plant Coleus, it works in this apartment by and large. That's a Coleus, and I've had it for, oh gosh, this is at least, I think this is the second, it went through 2 winters. So I know it works. Then I added that Spitfire. Oh gosh. And that stripe pot. Not that stripe pot. That's a prayer plant. So that Spitfire Coleus works. Coleus is can take shade, and it comes in a variety of colors, which I think are nice for a houseplant. I recently bought Pineapple Wizard. Where did it go? Sorry, it's called Wizard Pineapple Coleus. This is Gay's Delight. G-A-W. Gay. Sounds like gaze. G-A-Z-E, the way I'm saying it. This is fishnet stocking, and we don't have a clear visual on that, but it's got this great vein of network of deep purple and green. There's a little Spitfire. When I was potting that Spitfire with the 2 Merry Weeds, I broke off the plant. I broke off a little stem, but I put it in water and I found that I can root it. It roots pretty fast, and I didn't know that because I've not ever tried to grow a start. But the Wizard Pineapple Coleus, which I wanted because I wanted something of a blaring, cheery yellow. It had a little bit of mottled green around it. I bought, I think it was like either a 4-pack or 6-pack of stem starters, and they all seem to be healthy. One stalk by one. And, I took the first one out because I'm like, that's a goner. Well, I put it in water to see if it would revive itself like the Spitfire start and that I've now planted. And it didn't. And so it's curious because Coleus has worked in the past, and yet I'm not sure. I'm not sure about the Gay's Delight either. It feels just a little bit limp. The fishnet stocking is sturdy. It's good. But the Gay's Delight, something about it just, I don't know if I don't have my watering right or not, but it's not as, let's just say it's not as reaching as where I found it in the nursery. I don't feel it is. Back to the Wizard Pineapple in my specially selected desert pot. I didn't pick this because it's desert as my meta. I picked it because it goes so well with the zebra wood that I faux finished of my trapezo unit of crush shapes that amplify objects that I made. So I call this unit trapezo, and it's nomadic in the sense that nothing's nailed down. You can move these pieces however you like and assemble them. You could remove the shelves, which are trapezo shaped, and it all adds a nice angularity and agility. And this is my design, and I thought every bit of it through, including little radiuses and what those should be. And then I did the faux finishing on it. So I got the pot to match, you know, the scene of my apartment, as it were. So trapezo for me in this apartment was meant to provide me a plant jungle wall, a jungle plant wall. So it was really meant for me to have a wall of plants. And the idea of these crush shapes you can see through or see into was to amplify. You know, it showcases either, you know, whether you're looking at the narrow side or the wide side going in, you know. It's anyway, I'm just a silly person that way. So. Wizard pineapple. It had little bugs flying around it, little black bugs. I noticed, and I noticed it right after I planted it. I thought, oh, they'll just go away. So I'm not sure that, I am sure that the plant came with bugs. The bugs aren't on the other plants. So I'm not certain that that plant was already somewhat rotting. I don't know. I don't know if it had rot. I don't know. But I can't keep a plant, it would seem, I'm not going to try and jinx this, in my desert pot. What was in that previously was crown of thorns. And that plant doesn't need much watering. I don't think it liked the light though. It's a succulent and it wizened. It dried up. It stopped putting up little green buds or leaves, and it would eventually flower at the very top, but that one went very delicately because it does have thorns. So, fuck. Anyway, here's my ad. Oh, there you go. Great. Love it. Love it. Yeah. Can't get enough. I can't get enough of me being used artificially for someone else's fucking ad, nad, and hyphenated dad space. Can I? What the fuck? So let's see how everyone's doing today. I have uploaded, I wanted to wait until, to upload the website till I got part 2 with Who completed. That's not completed yet, but I had so many pages after it, which include, I have so many pages after it. So we'll execute the head, new bucked, the head disabled and leveled. Those all went up yesterday. Pretty sure it was yesterday. I had to get up early. Striking early was good. What else? I'm working on something that's probably going to take all week, and eventually will be uploaded material. What else? But you may not find me relating so much on face-to-face till I've set my T-race. So I set my trace in front of my face. So what else? Why? To fortify my advancement I've already made. Should anyone want to question my e.g. U-E-S-S-T-A-T-E, D-A-T-E-T-O, W-H-O-D-E, A-D. And in that D-E-A-D, put a deadhead in that too, D-H-E-A-D, meaning by doing it this way, I'm deadheading the advance that you would question doffed to get a taste on my pate and plate. There's no doffed here by design. By design, you don't actually rate. R-A-T-E. R-A-T. R-D-A-T-E. Your road. And why would your R-H, why would your R-H-A-T-E, your right hand, why would it hate? If you can sell L-O-V-E. Openly, A-D. So we're addressing the R-U-S-E E-D hyphen. The ruse you use, you said the sediment and the seed at the same time. The only thing fortifying that is you get agreed, doffed, F hyphen R hyphen E hyphen D, feed and freed. Free to compete for no reason. And in your provision, defend, or evain, V-A-I-N. Take your pick, hyphen T. P hyphen I-C-K hyphen T hyphen. So you can pick your ick, hyphenated, and part-time. What else? So let's see. The delay for not putting the website up all the way, you know, I'd been speaking it on the EarthCam, is that I had a couple of pages that were not tied up. They were not wrapped. So I have my little to-do list. It's not exactly top secret, but you know, I changed it from the last one. I needed to update it, so I wanted to complete those pages, and then I wanted to complete so I completed 2 of them, and the last one is part 2 with Who, the chapter, and that's not completed yet, and I'm not doing that right now. I'm doing something else, and I imagine I will get back to that, but it's not going to be for this week. What do I have coming up? I get to go back to surgery in June, so I've got pre-op and surgery and post-op for well, we've had surgery. I had surgery previously for an endometrial polyp, which was causing me to bleed nonstop, and which is curious because I can't tell if I'm having my period anymore. I'm like, is that a period? Meaning, I understand, I've been told, and I never knew this, that your period is about 2 ounces total. And I was doing shot glasses like every hour or two, all the day, all the night, and more than 7 days. So, yeah, so apparently I was even anemic, and I had to go get an IV, which changed my skin color. With iron in it, it just flushed me like a suntan. But when the doctor did the endometrial polyp surgery, apparently I also have a fibroid, and then we had to do a further looking into that. So I had to have a wand with the camera put up my hoo-ha, and not that hoo-ha, the other one. Places where I can't put my own head, okay? And I wouldn't ever really think of contriving a camera to go in there and like poke around for my comfort. But in this case, I'm glad that there's someone willing to do that for me. So we had to do ultrasound and take pictures and mess around, poke around there to see what was going on. And the fibroid is center of my, I'm pretty sure it's uterus, and they have to decide if it's in the muscle wall or if it's growing off it. And it's not like a little stalk, it's broad. It's right in the middle, right in the back, and she removed 4 or 5 centimeters, if I recall, and there's about that much less, which is pretty big. So it's not a little stalk that you just go in and snip, and then the fibroid's gone. And it's partially in the muscle, and so that gives 2 ways to address it. You go up your artery in your groin and send a little camera in there and tools, I guess, to cut off the veins blood supply. And I don't really want to do that, and we're not going to do that way. We're going to go do it the way we did previous for the endometrial polyp. So it's curious. It's curious because, like, this month, I'm like, was that my period or is it? I do not know. I don't know. I don't know if it starts. I don't know if it stops. I don't know what's up. It doesn't really go away. It doesn't seem to be really starting now. So, what else? The reason why one may consider to do this surgery, I've been informed that even after menses, after menopause, when you stop having your period, having a fibroid can cause irregular bleeding. So the point is, if I don't address it, I get irregular bleeding. And I don't think I want to be doing this unpredictably. So that's June. What else? I'm looking forward to turning this corner because I'm kind of looking at some looming projects that are creative and engineering the means for them to be that way. For the time being, I've got the desert pot and I'm leaving it empty. And that curiously feels right. I'm going to leave it empty for now. Last night I spoke about it because I took the weaning plants out of it, knowing, you know what, little bugs flying off the same way, like, let's get this pot emptied. We don't have to wait till everything's like, this is enough. We don't have to wait for that. So it's got rich soil in it, and it's sitting empty. And what else? I spoke yesterday about I could perhaps try getting the friendship plant that the owner at Studley's likes. And I got the friendship plant before, but then I wanted to make my own pot. I wanted to start making my own clay. And so I took a course, just a very simple one. I threw a wheel, threw clay on the wheel, and I wasn't content for symmetry. I wanted asymmetry. I wanted some sort of beautiful, irregularity. And I kept botching them. Again, it was my first time throwing, but I was like, well, I can do symmetry. How do you get something that's beautiful with an irregularity? And because that's what I was interested in. Why signature, I imagine. exploring as the realm of aesthetic possibilities. So what would it be along the lines of the Japanese word, I want to say wasabi, but it's not wasabi. It's something where the blemish is a value. I say it's probably about intention. So I was trying to produce an irregularity that gives your eye greater appeal for and forward, and to forge the looking, in a way, ideal with the irregularities. It was a one day, not even a whole day, a one day little class they offered in New Hampshire that I went to when we've got pottery here, but I will not go to Portland Pottery, Lisa, whatever her name is, the owner, because she jacked a whole lot of shit on me. She owns the apartment next door to Portland Pottery, and I already have this backstory online, but yeah, I did not find her ethics as an artist or business owner to be greatly conceived. So I drove to New Hampshire, and I believe it was Manchester, and I attended a class there. So paid more to travel and to spend a few hours, and then also had to go back later to pick up my fired and glazed pot. But this is what I walked away with. It's very simple. I did little coils. So I think it's pretty good though. I mean, what I'm saying is, for a first time out rolling clay, there's a nice smoothness to it, and while it is very wee. It is very wee. It's little. It's very wee. I articulated as, if I'm critiquing it my first time out, I like it. It's very becoming. It's got a conviviality to it. There's a smoothness. There's a smoothness to the coil, and I know that because when you're putting this together and you're kind of blending, you can get rid of the texture, or you could put a nail in it and botch it, you know? So for a first time out, I think I paid significant enough attention to be like, this is appealing. And it's appealing in the sense it's not manufactured one coil after another to spec. It's manufactured one coil after another by hand. By hand that meant it. And it's appealing to me. For as little as it is, and it was like probably about a $60 expenditure, maybe more, because I had to travel back to pick up the finished product, meaning that I'd leave it there, pick a color of glaze, they would glaze it and fire it, and then I had to go back and get it. So, but it's first little outing, and I like it. It's something I think I want to continue. So back onto the friendship plant. I wanted to make my own pots, but in the time waiting to make my own pot, the friendship plant died. It died off. So I was thinking, oh, maybe I could try a friendship plant in the desert pot using the meta. Deserted, but I'd have to go to Studley's, and isn't Studley's kind of a funny metaphor too? To go to Studley's and get a friendship plant. Studley's in Rochester, New Hampshire. They also sell, at one point, they had this Cuban oregano, which I like, smells really great. So I got that there. And I got the plethacanthus. It's green. It is also nicely fragrant and green. And it's creamy around the edges. It's back there. And yeah, I like Studley's. Here is our coleus fishnet stockings, Spitfire, which is red underneath, and interesting, that coleus is red underneath. So you could see it when I put it up there, it's actually green on top, red underneath. These do very well. The oxalis, they close up at night without light, and they open like a little butterfly. It's also called the shamrock. And I got this twin palm here, and I don't remember the name of that. That is a false artillery fern, prayer plant, pothos, peperomia, Japanese plant, and that's a little fern too. Anyway, I've been growing plants in my apartment since I moved here, and I have to consider the light, understand the light, understand the seasons. That's why I've got the backup LED on a timer, and understand the space. What's going to work here? So I do not purchase begonia. I can't, begonia is like this. Here's your money. I may as well do this and not just bring that plant home, and there would be a better use of my gesture of time, economy, and money combined together. Begonia will not work here. I tried different types. Even though they supposedly like shade. They do well in shade, supposedly. And the funny thing is at the nursery, the people that work at the nursery with the green thumb, if I talk to them about begonia, the people I've talked to that work there, they can't grow begonia either. They can't keep it alive. So it's a beautiful plant in the nursery. I can't make it work here. What else? Anyway, this is your update. And what else? I think that's probably about it for now. Let's see. The Pet Ego bicycle trailer that's still on its way, and I ordered the stroller option that has the front wheel because I want to go rollerblading with Minnow too. So I got the Pet Ego for my bike trailer, Pet Ego brand, and then the stroller option so that I could reclaim both my bike riding and rollerblading, which I haven't done so much since I've had Minnow. I used to rollerblade with Hound, my last dog. However, Hound had a good spatial relation on the leash. She understood the task to pull me, which she delighted in. So going fast, she tried to go fast as she could, and I would always just be like, okay, when I rollerblade, I'm gonna be leaning, I'm gonna be using my brake. The dog still loved it, but didn't understand that's a red light. I'm like, oh, you gotta slow down. I mean, I would go through breaks a month late. Just take that wedge and starts like a brake like this flat, and then it's like and just anyway, with that dog I had to buy lots of brakes. Well, with Minnow, I put him on a little harness. He crosses all over me, and he does that without me being on rollerblades, so that's not something I'm going to entertain again. But I would like to rollerblade, and in that he may get his frisbee and be in a resting mode. Why not bring him with me? He'd probably like that too, He'd get a little wind in his face. So that's the option of why I've sought that out. It's also timely in that we're at the beginning of several months of good weather before winter comes again in Maine, in the north. So sorry, east. The handlebar for the stroller has come because I had to get it from 2 different vendors on Amazon, and it's crooked, which is already telling me like Pet Ego costs more, significantly more than the bulk of lower priced trailers, but I wanted a good one. I didn't want to be like rickety because that's not going to be fun for me, pulling something that's stalking me with fucking sound, rattling sound, or pushing it. It's not going to be fun. I wanted something smooth. I tried a Thule, Thule, for what people would jog with their kids, and put Minnow in it. He wanted to self-launch, but I had his leash. But it's super smooth, and I'm like, oh, this is fun. At least it's fun for me. We'd have to get Minnow used to it. But reasons not to get the Thule is you've got the seat, and then there's a little dip for a child's feet. And I think for Minnow to feel comfortable, he needs a level plane. So I got to see, got to test drive a stroller. Thule's great. It's also really expensive, and comparatively, but it's well thought out. And so I'm looking for a pet equivalent. So I found a pet ego, not the large one, but the medium one, and it was on sale. And I thought, okay, I'll buy up and get a good, smooth ride that's fun. And I've only received the handlebar lever, and I put it together, and it's crooked. And I'm like, oh, I hope this is not forecasting, more shitty product to come. So what I've done in the meantime, I was curious about Kinbor. They have 20-inch wheels like the Thule does for kids strollers, where it seems most pet strollers have 16-inch pneumatic wheels. So I ordered that one also. So that one, since seeing that handlebar lever was crooked, I'm like, you know what? I want to have two for reference. So I ordered the Kinbor. It has no reviews on it. I searched for reviews. There's no review on it. It's a curiosity. You can't tell where it's made from. It's, it's not lending any ledger. So I'm like, well, the ledger then is I've already got a question now receiving part of the pet ego, which is really an upper echelon. And you would think a well-crafted product due to the price. I've already got a question about it. And with the first piece that came without the rest attached. And then that it's crooked. So I'm like, okay, I'm not going to be satisfied even when the trailer comes. So I looked up Kinbor again, can't find reviews, can't really get a line on its lineage. And they have two that they sell. One is for kids and it's smaller, but it looks like it's flat. And they have one that's larger for pets. And I decided to order the one that is for kids. What I can tell about the difference is, interestingly enough, the pet ego is advertised as having suspension. Thule for kids has suspension also, just bigger wheels. So I like that idea of suspension. Equivocating, if I could say that, making you think that it's going to be a smoother ride. And smoother equals quality. Quality in thought and design, and thoughtfulness to have the design because you're thinking of someone else being the ride. So Kinbor also has suspension. It's not dressed up to be so stylized. The difference between the Kinbor for the dog and Kinbor for the child, the trailer does not have a back hatch for the child. It has a backing that you would lean against. Truthfully, I can put a back hatch in that if I want. So, and I could put some quality mesh in it. It's not going to just be flim-flam, flimsy, if I want to. I like, since I have a small footprint of a dog, not super small, but still not 45 pounds, I wanted a smaller rig, but it's also taller, which I like if I'm going to be pushing it. So I got the child one, and it has where you put the wheels, it has an extended metal casing pipe around the wheels. It's the only difference that I could find besides a little bit different in shape and style of the fabric trailer. That's the difference in the frame. On the Kinbor for dog, you've got a frame attached to your bike and you put the wheels. On the Kinbor for a human, it has a little frame of metal pipe encasing what the wheels would roll in. And pros and cons. It's not adding any durability because it's not attached to what would comprise the frame. So it's not making the frame stronger, it's just extended off the frame. The frame of weight carrying both the contents in the trailer attached to the wheels. But I think it's there as a bumper so that you don't, because there's a little rod that goes in front of the wheel, and I'm like, why is it there? In case a wheel falls off, and it doesn't just, I don't really know why it's there, but pros and cons, it's going to add extra weight. I just wanted to see. I voted for the economy of the smaller footprint, even though it might have a little more weight with that metal buffer, and I can change it. I can change the hatch on the back if I want to. Anyway, at the very least, I'm going to be able to look at 20-inch wheels, see how they roll, look at the frame, and decide, you know, pet ego, more money, or Kinbor. Is the frame good enough? And if I want to change the fabric, that's within my jurisdiction of skills. So it's going to be, so at least I'm going to have a reference then. I didn't want, with the crooked lever, the handle of pet ego here already, I'm like, you know what, I don't want to just be like, okay, good, thanks, I'll work with this. I'm like, if this thing is like top rated, top money, I'm not going to accept it because it came crooked. Now I'm going to look at the mean, the average marketplace product, and now I'm going to compare. If it didn't come crooked, I probably wouldn't look elsewhere, is what it comes down to. But coming crooked for a pricey item that's top in its marketplace, supposedly stylistically, thoughtfully for who the ride would be for, and aesthetically for who would see it, and that you're paying for it additionally to love it. Love IT, L-O-V-E-I-T. Love the vet that you are it. So, it's hard to get past a question. It's hard for me to forget, like, fuck, that bugs me. I want to see what else is out there. Is this standard? If this sort of crookedness is standard, why would I pay top dollar for it? I will have to discern why I would and why I wouldn't. You know? And, you know, is it all inherent to the frame? Are all frames crooked? Because I can change the fabric. Again, that skill is in my jurisdiction. I could probably jimmy the frame too, in the sense that I've read online sometimes the floor of the pet trailer is just this flimsy chipwood. You know, so those skills are in my jurisdiction too, to lay down a new floor or a new bed. What I'm looking for the money, looking for a good frame. I've read that some frames, the dog sits back and flips the cart backwards. I'm like, oh, that's not good. Another reason to choose the kids trailer. So I'm looking at the position of where you put the bar and the wheel and where you sit your weight. Because certainly no one that feels honestly, is going to make a cart that when you sit back, it's going to flip backwards. You're not going to do that for a kid, okay? I did not read any views for kid bicycle trailers that were doing that. So anyway, that's my quest. That's where I am, and that's what I have to say for it, even.